DeAndre Ayton, the overwhelming choice from Lakers fans and whoever else were the 19,000 people that voted. Is Ayton your first choice for the Lakers to be their starting center next season?
No. So, well, among free agents, yes, I think he's the best realistic option in free agency. I have two guys. So I have a center list that I put out on my YouTube channel of my top 10 centers via trade and free agency. Ayton was third on that list in tier 2 alone. For me, tier 1 is Nick Claxton at number 1 and Daniel Gafford at number 2. A couple issues there. Nick Claxton just is making mid-20s. So to get to that salary, Lakers have to put realistically 3 players on the table. And then there's the matter of, are they putting first in there? Are they putting Dalton Knecht in there? Are they putting both? So he's expensive to go get from Brooklyn. And then Daniel Gafford, I don't see Dallas and the Lakers making another deal right now, at least. And I like, it was interesting that he extended and they kept it within the trade and extend rules where he's still trade eligible. And I think it's even a better contract now because you don't have the uncertainty of free agency looming with him and having to figure that out. So he's under contract. I think it's a team-friendly deal. But those guys, to me, they're rim protectors, they're rim runners, they're good pick and roll partners for Luka. They play with a certain level of physicality and energy. With Claxton, he's more of a finesse, but he's got versatility defensively. Then with Gafford, he's more of a power big. But both guys are really good finishers, and I think would be upgrades. Kind of the Jackson Hayes archetype, but at a much higher level. And there's a reason why those guys are getting paid, 20 plus million. With Ayton, though, I think looking at his, I've did film deep dives on all these guys, and his defensive film, I think, is better than people often talk about. I think there's some versatility there.
He can move.
He's switchable. Yes. I was watching him switch on to Giannis, and I was like, he's holding his own relatively against Giannis, especially for a 7'1" center. Shot over 80% at the rim. He's an elite finisher. He's got an array of hook shots, floaters. So he's a lob threat. It's not really thought of that way, but is a lob threat. So I think from an offensive skill perspective, he's probably the best that they could do. Can be a dribble handoff guy. He's got some passing chops, though did average more turnovers than assists last season, which I think is a little bit of a concern. But if you could get him to buy in defensively and lock in the way he did in 2021 and 2022 in Phoenix, we've seen that team made the finals. That team won 60 games. So I think he can be part of a winning culture. It's just been a few years since we've seen that from him.
I think Ayton is the no-brainer of all the choices. Even if you have to give him the full mid-level $14.1 million to get him, I would go that route. And if you could get him for just a partial, $10 million of the 14.1, and then you use the remaining 4.1 for Bruce Brown or Larry Nance Jr. or somebody like that.
Would love Bruce
that's
Brown.
The best of Bruce Brown would be awesome. It seems like
they've wanted him since 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's been multiple years now of wanting Bruce Brown. So I think for the Lakers, that's the best case. Lose Dorian Finney-Smith if you do lose him, which it seems like you're going to Houston or somebody else. You get Ayton, and then you sign somebody else. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to end up with another big. I don't know what the market's going to look like out there for Brook Lopez or Clint Capela. Maybe those guys are veteran league minimums. Maybe there's situations where you go get another big in trades, like you had your guys in your tier 1 of the list. Maybe they're unrealistic, but you could go out and get some other guys. It's just a matter of what are they willing to put on the table. And to me, you mentioned Rui Hachimura earlier. If you lose Dorian Finney-Smith, it's a lot harder to give him up. But I'm still looking at Austin Reaves. Reaves is 27. He has 1 year remaining on his contract. He's a bit redundant with LeBron and with Luka. And even if you just look at him as a piece next to Luka, the lack of lockdown defense between those two guys is a little bit concerning. Dalton Knecht, they already traded him once. Nothing stopping him from trading him again. I mean, you get expirings. Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, Jordan Goodwin, 11.5 for Gabe Vincent, 11 million for Kleber, 2.4 for Goodwin, who had a team option. So you have those guys. You have the 2031 or 2032 first round pick that you can trade. And then you can trade up to 4 swaps in 26, 28, 30, and 31 or 32. So they have assets. It's just a matter of, as we said earlier, do they want to use this as a buy year with Luka, or do they want to use this as an opportunity with Luka and LeBron, or trading LeBron to maximize their chances this year around Luka when this could be, and you hope it is, his MVP season.